Hello everybody. In this video, you're going to learn how to use SuiteCRM to distribute the incoming leads among the members of your sales team. My name is Bastian Hammer, your go-to expert when it comes to all things CRM, e-commerce, marketing automation, and sales integration. Okay, so let's go. I assume you've got your SuiteCRM system up and running, you're working on the data, and you've got leads integrated or integration with your website, and leads are coming into your CRM system. Now, the problem comes if your sales team is growing. It seems like the leads are unequally distributed amongst your salespeople, or some people are not happy about the quality of the sales that they mostly get. So therefore, there are a couple of things that you can do inside your SuiteCRM to ensure that it is quite fair and the distribution works as you discussed it with your team. Make sure that your team is fully on board with how you distribute your leads, and that maybe they even contributed suggestions as well, so that they are happy with the outcome later on. So I'm inside my CRM system in the leads module, and now I would like to look into workflows again. So workflows, if you go to the admin area and then workflow manager, and then we are building a workflow. If you haven't checked out my video on how to build basic workflows yet, do this now, because here we're just going quickly through the details. So in here we would say distribute website leads. And then workflow module is leads. I want to do this only on save, and I want to do this on new records only. Therefore, repeated runs don't make sense at all. So why only on save and why only on new records? Because only the ones that coming in new should be distributed and assigned to a salesperson. And later on, this should usually not be changed unless people agree on it, like your internal sales team agrees on it. So then first of all, I would add a condition, and the condition will now be the lead source. And the lead source, I want to have only website leads. So as you can see, there are several, but it doesn't make sense to distribute them, the new incoming leads, always. Let's say, for instance, a cold call. Cold call is usually outbound, so you've got like one dedicated person to do all cold calls. And then if this person generates new leads, those leads that this person creates inside the CRM system should be assigned to this person, not be distributed in the team, unless you have specifically set up the processes in order to do it exactly like this. And then, of course, you can include this here as well. So therefore, we're going to focus on the website only, and we're going to exclude the others for now. But it's totally possible to build up a couple of different workflows, which are all going to look into different sources and then distribute with different sources and different actions or different logics. So what I want to do here is now basically I want to modify the lead, and then I want to do change assigned to. So you can imagine I create a lead, it's stored in the database, and the first thing that I want to do is exactly this workflow. So I open this lead again and change the assigned to person. So record type is leads, that's correct. So I need to look into one field, and this is the assigned to field. So now I can assign a value. Means like in this case, I would simply enter something here, whereas in that case, because it is a related record, so inside the leads, assigned to is usually a CRM user, but I could switch it or point it to something else as well. So if I open this one up here, and then you can see that I just get to the lead search here, which makes little sense unless you always want to assign it to one specific person first, and then this person decides who to distribute it to in the team. So then we've got another option here, field, and this is if you want to copy from one field to another field, then you would use this one here. So let's say, for instance, assigned to or modified by name. So now you want to use whoever modified the lead, then you want to assign this person or copy this person to the assigned to. It doesn't make sense here because we're creating a new record. So in this case, we don't have a modified by yet. And assigned to doesn't make sense as well. And there are some other options, reports to, and so on. But especially here in the lead distribution, it's like a weak case. It doesn't work very well. So then let's say random. Let's first go and check out this option. So randomly, it's really random. So you have a couple of options to filter down. So either you distribute it among your whole team, or you limit it by role. So maybe you've got a role which is specifically a sales role, and then it will be it will be just distributed in this role. So whichever user has this role will receive randomly, on a random basis, this new lead. Check out my video on the permission system, the security system here as well, with users and roles. And then there's another thing which can be very interesting, all users in security group. So security groups are usually used for, let's say you've got sales teams, but by different areas. You have like West, Middle, East or something, and then those 3 different teams are taking care of different leads according to in which state the leads are coming in. Then maybe the New York leads will only distribute it amongst the East sales team. So therefore you can employ those security groups here. For testing purposes, I just use all users for now. And now we're going to test it, to simply test it. So what I need to pay attention to is it needs to have like the lead source website, and anything else will go. So therefore, if I just enter here first name, doesn't matter, don't need it, last 01, and then I've got my website here, and now click on save, and you will be able to see the assigned to person, which is Jim at the moment. So Jim, there are a couple of users being imported with the demo data from SuiteCRM, and this is one of those demo data users. And if I do this now again, so I go back to leads or create a lead directly, and I'm doing last 02 and the website lead. This is very important, the website source, because otherwise it won't trigger. And now it's being assigned to Will. Okay, so that seems to be random, but we can't really test it for sure. But let's just trust the workflow in this case. Whereas random, as you can imagine, you might have even leads being distributed to people several times. So it's not like equal distribution. So how to solve this problem? There are other options. So there's a round robin and a least busy. Let's first go by least busy. Here, the same sub-criteria imply again what you could do here. But so far, now I want to have new incoming leads and assign it to the least busiest person. And I'll show you in a bit on how this is being evaluated. So I create a new lead, and it needs to be a website lead. And I save this. And this should not be distributed or assigned to Jim. And now it's possible to test this. And that's what we're going to do quickly. So I do this very often, depending on what kind of process we're implementing. Looking into the data is always a good idea. So looking into the data works with the reports. Check out my video on how to build reports. I've got a couple of those with basic reports, with specific group by reports, and I want to have a report now on leads per CRM user, and the report module is leads, and I need two fields. The first field will be the assigned to, which I'm using for grouping, and I want to have this as an ascending field, and then any field for counting. So, and then I save this. And now I can see SuiteCRM admin. So with this person, I've imported a bunch of leads, and then I reassigned them here inside another video with a mass update feature. Check out this one as well on how to update and enter data. And as you can see, Jim is really the least busiest person, because Chris, Jim, Max, Sally, and all of them but Jim have already like 2 digits of leads, and Jim not. So therefore, now we can believe, okay, SuiteCRM is doing it correct. It was really the least busiest person. So if I create another lead now, it should still be assigned to Jim, last of 4. And I save this lead. And as you can see, it stays with Jim since he is still the least busiest. But if I update now my report, you will see now Jim has got 3 leads, and I need to continue on doing it until we're reaching like the 33, and then it will first time be assigned to Chris. There's yet another thing that we can do. If you go to actions and edit our workflow, and then there is the round robin method. So the round robin is basically rotating through all the customer or all the CRM users that you implied here. So all users would definitely be all users, but could be roles or just security groups like areas. And this is usually the go-to method that I'm using when it should be rather fair. So it should be kind of distributed equally inside or within the team members. So we can test this as well. And I save the workflow again. So we have an overview of the users here, and I'm just going to create a couple of more leads. So we've got last of 5, and then it comes from the website as well. I save this. Let's see, now we're starting at Max. As you can see, Max is now the next one. And now I'm just doing the next lead. 6. Should be website again. And now it's distributed to Sally. So as you see, it's just going through the user names and is distributing it equally among all those users. And now additionally, you can expand on this workflow. I had this in several projects already, where you would either really go by security group, but if you do this really with the regions, you have to be careful, because the leads that are incoming need to match the distribution rules later on. So let's say, for instance, if you have leads and the country, the billing country in our primary address country. So let's say you've got different areas or different regions, and then you want to distribute within those regions. And then you would set up something here that United States will be distributed to the salespeople, or like to the security group, which is responsible for the United States. And then you have like different countries, and your leads will be first checked. So it needs to be a website lead, and they need to be from the United States, and then they can be distributed in this specific group. Additionally, what you can do here as well is to check more details of your leads. Maybe you've got your sales teams separated by key account and by pre-sales or something. And then maybe you have like a lead scoring first in place, and depending on the score, it will go to a different person. Or what I did before as well in some projects is by regions and by postal codes. So if the postal code starts with, and then you can distribute the lead to this person, because this postal code or this area has one dedicated salesperson. So check out my video on the calculated fields for looking into how to use those fields and then later on distribute the lead according to what came out from there. Okay, let's quickly recap. We have looked into the lead distribution in your SuiteCRM system, especially with those different methods of distributing those leads. Value field maybe are not that reasonable to use unless you have like specific cases or reasons to do so. Then the more reasonables are random, least busy, and round robin, whereas random might yield like unequal lead distribution values. Round robin and least busy if your team agrees on that. Both methods that you can use for using your incoming leads within your team or your team members. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.